through my husband, who is an educator, and his beautiful daughter, Kennedy, of course, was one of his students. And Kennedy and her mom, I went out, of course, doing my community service. My husband told me I'd be there for an hour, and I was there all day. But I was at the school, for career day. He's like, just an hour. And so at that time, I met Kennedy, of course, and her mom. And Kennedy was displaying her business, which is K-Lock. And then, of course, I'm sure Sean probably will touch that in his presentation. But through that, I met them, and then, of course, meeting Sean. They've been here, of course, since we told them about the group. They've been here, and they've been supporting. So I thank you, of course, for being here. And I asked Sean, I said, I want you to bring a message, of course, to the entrepreneurs in regards to the mindset. He had something, if you don't follow him, he puts a lot of information out there on Facebook. I'm like, he just stays on Facebook. I don't know how you get this information. But it was something powerful that he put, and it was just talking about, of course, as entrepreneurs and the work that we put in. As I said last time, you'll work harder for yourself than you ever work for anybody else. And so there was something that he touched on that, and I said to him, I want you to come and kind of give a word. So Sean Harris, come on up. Sean Harris speaks, and ... because there are a whole lot of other things. Thank you.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Good afternoon. Okay, let me. All right, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Now, we're going to have some fun. Everybody turn to the person behind you and shake their hand. Y'all didn't catch that. Turn around. If everybody turned around, see, some of y'all follow the rest. If everybody turned around, there shouldn't have been nobody to shake their hand. Okay, we're going to move on now. Go ahead. Guys, I'm Sean Harris, and Lisa and Jan, thank you guys so much for having me come out. And I just want to share a little bit with you guys today about mindset and having a dominant mindset. All right? Because players get paid. Spectators play. All right? Spectators play, players get paid. Just a little bit about myself. Real quick, I'm Sean Harris, and I'm originally from Atlanta. And I come from a family of entrepreneurs. My family actually owned one of the first 3 black-owned hotels in Atlanta back during the 50s and the 60s. And all you guys know it was pretty hard to run a business back then, particularly being African American. So I always had the entrepreneurial mindset placed in me. I also had a great grandfather who ran liquor back in Alabama. He was very good at it. And how many of y'all knew that NASCAR started from running liquor? That's how NASCAR got started. But so what I want to talk to you guys tonight about is mindset. Many of you guys probably, matter of fact, I can almost guarantee y'all probably grew up in my same house. Watch this. Finish this sentence. Go to school, get good grades, go get a good job. How's that working out for many people? Now, one of the axioms that I teach my children is go to school, get okay grades, and go build a business system. Okay? Because I know people that have more degrees than a thermometer and they're still not hitting it financially the way that they want to. Okay, so what we're going to talk about is mindset. See, if I had corn seed and I just threw it down on this ground right now, nothing would happen. First of all, it's not fertile soil. So what I'm going to do is I want to till the soil of your mind today, just to get you to think a little differently, to see things differently, particularly as an entrepreneur. Okay? Because you got to understand, a lot of the rules are different for business owners and entrepreneurs than they are for people with employees or are employees. How many people realize that the tax laws are written for business owners? See, a good example, this couple right here owns a phenomenal business right up here. If they made $100,000 this year, and then you have Bob and Mary over here who made $100,000 a year as employees, who do you think made the most money? It made the most, but it's who keeps the most. Because Bob and Mary over here on this side, they're taxed up front. Okay? So it's equivalent to you getting to hit 35, 37% taxes. That means that you're working from January to the end of May for free. And you don't start getting paid until April. How many people want to just give away 4 months of the year? Nobody. But over here, in this particular scenario, they made $100,000 a year. They invested in equipment, they traveled, did different events, may have needed a new vehicle for the corporation. At the end of the year, if they only had $25,000 left over, that's what they're taxed on. Big difference, isn't it? It's what's left over that you get taxed on. So you gotta understand the rules of the game. How many guys here play football? All right. Now, if I told you, Jan, go out, button hook to the right. Jan went to the left. Anybody play football know before Jan even turned around, the ball was already in the air, right? So he went to the left, the ball's to the right. Is Jan getting the ball on the next play? No. Absolutely not. Y'all remember playing satellite football in the street growing up for the guys while the girls playing double dutch? Well, if you were the glass and you were the stick and you were the little rock, we had all kinds of stuff to make play patterns and stuff. But if that was the case, I wouldn't throw Jan the ball next play because he clearly doesn't understand the rules. If you don't understand the rules, you can't score. If you can't score, you can't win. Hence the Atlanta Falcons. All right. I ain't seen my Falcons fans here. I'm going to give him some tomatoes. But check this out. Our company, the holding company is called Thousandfold Group LLC. It comprises 7 different corporations underneath that, not to include my 2 children's businesses. We have real estate companies, we have commercial cleaning corporation, we have security and protection corporation, publishing company, a plethora of different things, from tax services, my consulting company. I'm a paid speaker, travel around the globe. I say that not to impress you, but to impress upon you that I know some stuff, okay? I did not go to college. Dad gave me that talk when I was in 10th grade, go to school, get good grades, go get a okay job if you got to get one, only for seed money, because my parents own companies. He said, I'm not going to give it to you. You got to go out there and you got to go build it. Now, I'll guide you in the process. So, with that said, anybody from Atlanta or been in Atlanta for at least 25, 30 years? We used to have what's called the Red Dogs. You remember the Red Dogs for APD? Yeah. I always wanted to be a Red Dog. So at the time, Eldridge Bell was the police chief. So I wrote Eldridge Bell a letter in the 10th grade. I want to be a Red Dog. I'm ready to jump out of school now. And believe it or not, Eldridge Bell wrote me back. And he said, continue school, so forth, and you come in to the Atlanta Police Department. Well, when I went to APD to do an interview, that was a weird situation, but I ended up getting on with DeKalb County. So I'm retired sheriff out of DeKalb County, and that was always a dream that I wanted to fulfill, just get law enforcement, but I always knew I wanted to build business systems. So when I got out of high school, I went to the military. I went to the Air Force, and I have a background in aerospace propulsion, aeronautics, and all that high flying aircraft stuff. But that still wasn't reward enough for me for what I wanted to do, because here's what I realized. With your life, you're going to build a dream. You're going to either build a dream for yourself, or you're going to build a dream for someone else. But either way it goes, your life will be used to build a dream. Okay? So, again, it's the mindset. We're going to get into that. So when I got out of the military, started a company in real estate, and so forth. And what I started realizing was I was getting my time back. I was burning candle on both ends. I was in law enforcement, and I was also doing real estate. But what I quickly realized was that in real estate, I was able to do a closing that only took me 5 hours of my time that paid me for a month and a half for what I was making in the sheriff's department. So, it didn't take a rocket science to figure out what my next step needed to be. So, fast forward, and I got out of that, started multiple companies of my own. But here's what I realized. This chair, how many legs are on this chair? 4. Okay. It's pretty stable, right? It's not going anywhere. Now, if I take one leg off, we got 3 legs. It's still pretty stable, like a 3-legged stool. Now, if I take it down to a 2-legged stool, now I kind of got to do a balancing act, right? It's kind of like a bicycle. Once you know how to ride a bike, you go as long as you can balance. But once you stop, what's going to happen? You'll fall over. Even when you get off that bike, you have to still do it. Put the kickstand down to support it. Now, imagine being on a 1-legged stool or a unicycle. You got to pedal forward, pedal backwards, turn this way, just kind of keep balance. Who wants to do that 24 hours a day? Nobody. So you have to look at your finances in the same way. Okay? I'm going to show you guys a video. Mr. Lawrence, turn around. Thank you, dear. All right, well, I was still getting set up. All right, we're going to talk about lion mode and gazelle mode. One of my favorite speakers and one of my business coaches, he talks about the lion mode quite a bit and the gazelle mode. Do you know that lions are wired to be lions and gazelles are wired to be gazelles? Now, go ahead and slide one slide forward. 2 slides. 1 more. All right, who was that? All right, next slide. Who was that? Next slide. Maria Sharapova. Next slide. Who is that? Next slide. Victoria. I don't know how to pronounce that. Next slide. Who is that? Next slide. There she is. Now, everybody knew who Serena was, but nobody knew the other 3. All 3 of those ladies have beat both Serena and Venus in the past. But the reason you don't know them is because they don't dominate. Serena dominates. That's why you know her name. Next slide. Who was that? Next slide. King Braun. Next slide. Who are they? Basketball players. Next slide. Will Barton plays for the Nuggets. He's a starter in the NBA. And over here you got Jeff Whitty. He's a starter also for the Utah Jazz. But you didn't know them because they don't dominate. But everybody knows LeBron, don't they? Next slide. See, everybody know Warrick Dunn? I mean, not Warrick Dunn. Ward. I was thinking about Andre Dunn, about some other stuff with real estate. But the thing is, you cannot compete. You have to dominate in everything that you do. Think about it. For all the guys and girls who play sports, you always want it to be on the offensive side. Nobody wants to play the defense side because you can't score on the defense. That makes sense? So you want to dominate. I was always the type of person, just like you see here with Ward, I was always the person that I wanted the mud on the field. I wanted it to be raining. I wanted it to snow. I wanted it to be cold. I wanted it to be ice on the ground. Why? Because I trained for that when I know my competitor didn't. So who do you think is going to win? You. Got it. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Hunters enjoy hunting. Can we have light turn back on for me, please? Guys, as a hunter, I like to compare, I like analogies. You have a lion and you have a gazelle. Now, a lot of people come into entrepreneurial space, but they bring the 9-to-5 mentality with them. They're doing the things that an entrepreneur does, but they're doing it in a 9-to-5 manner. See, a lion doesn't operate on time. He operates on the gazelle. The gazelle may not be open from 8 to 3. The gazelle may decide, leave over there sleep. And tip down to the river and get a little sip of water at 4 o'clock in the morning and tip on back before the king wakes up. But when you have lion mentality, you get up when the gazelle get up. He looking right here for the water, I'm on the other side looking right at him, licking my water too. It's showtime. Because a gazelle is wired to be a gazelle, because that's what he is. A lion is wired to be a lion because that's what he is. But when both of those two beasts look at each other and make eye contact at the exact same time, the gazelle, because he's wired as a gazelle, says, oh crap. Fear comes over him, and it's flight. The lion, at the exact simultaneous time, sees that gazelle. He says, it's showtime. It's breakfast. And it's time to go. So then you start with the chase. Now here's one thing about a lion. A lion will pursue his prey through thick and thin. But guess what though? If that gazelle stumbles and get hurt and cut himself, the lion just look at it like, rum out. Because the beasts enjoy the struggle, the process. But if you hurt, I don't want you if I can't really catch you where I want to catch you. Who saw the Serena match last week? Same thing with Serena. She said, yo, later for the 24th Grand Slam, later for the money that comes with winning the French Open, US Open, whichever one it was. You're not going to smear my name. Because the process that she's been going through to become the best athlete of all time, in my humble but accurate opinion. Michael Jordan got rings. Serena got rings. They just call platters and plaques and all this other stuff. But it's 23 rings to Michael Jordan's 7. Huge difference. So, I said that to say, you got to get up running. You got to get up running. Did y'all know that the average millionaire has 7 streams of income? Anybody here have 5 streams of income? 4. 3. 2. 1. Okay? Multiple streams of income is the only way to survive. Everybody got here by some type of vehicle, right? Car, truck, van, whatever, camel, donkey, whatever, you got here. But the point is, in the back of your vehicle or underneath the undercarriage, you should have a what? Spare tire. Why do we have a spare tire?
In case of flat.
In case of a flat, blowout, emergency. Okay, now, everybody stop and ponder this thought. How many people have a spare income in case of a financial blowout, a financial flat? When I was in law enforcement, I had to think every single day about what's called the X-out factor. If something happened to my trigger finger, that was a wrap. That was a wrap. How many of y'all realize you can get hurt real quick in law enforcement? Chasing knuckleheads through the stream, running through backyards, jumping fences. I fell through attics. I can't tell how many times I fell through attics. Chasing folks. I was a sheriff, so I'm the bad boy. I was going to kick in your door. Shotgun. But I realized that I was based on my physical ability to perform. And if at any time something stopped my physical ability to perform, that was the end of my money. Think about that. From the neck down, you have a $7.50 income producing machine. Everybody in here who's physically able, we can do manual labor. We can all work at McDonald's. We can all work for the sewer department. We can do physical hard work with the body. But from the neck up, you have a unlimited income producing asset. Now what you have to do is ask yourself, which one of your feet goes? Think about it. The Housewives of this is on. I'm going to the Beyonce concert. All this different stuff is feeding that. But we'll feed this all day long. Well, Sean, how do I feed my mind? You gotta read. You have to read. You gotta put yourself in an environment. You gotta get in the arena. You can't expect to play in Super Bowl if you ain't even stepped in the stadium, can you? So this is the mindset that you have to have. A dominating mindset. You're gonna get my first video up next. But the thing about a lot of entrepreneurs where we can fall short is that we kind of do the hokey pokey. Put the right foot in, put the left foot in, all that kind of stuff. And you're scared just to jump all the way in. You hear a lot of people say, don't burn your bridges. I wouldn't burn them, but I will make them flame a little bit. Because if you got too much of a cushion, you can fall backwards. See, a lot of people ask me, well, Sean, can I do what you do? Can I build multiple companies? Can I succeed the way you do? And the first thing I say is, I don't know. And the reason why is because I don't know if inside your chest beats the heartbeat of a champion the way it does in mine. That makes sense? But you gotta have that drive. You gotta have a drive. You gotta have a reason why. Why do you get up every day? Remember I talked about the lion? When he see that the prey falls down, he don't want it anymore? Because it was all about the hunt. It was about the hunt. He doesn't really care about the prize. Y'all know a lion can get food all day long any day he want to. He get up for the prize of going through the process, not the prize itself. Y'all ever watch the Animal Channel? You ever see the animals? You never see the cheetah get up and stretch out in the morning as you see the gazelle, like, yeah, I'm gonna go get him. He wake up, open one eye, the other one still closed, and he gone. He's going to get that prey. Let me get the lights one more time, please. All right. Hit play for me. Those are two okay dogs want to get in business. That's a board. They're just making a lot of noise until the beasts come in and take them right at the neck. That's how you gotta do it, you build a business. You can't do it over poker. Now you see another leader come in, the other right there, and a third. Now you notice going up to the next video, that is the way you have to work your business. One more video. Okay, that's mama line. Look at all those opportunities pass by. I want to start my business, I don't have enough money. Oh, I don't have a car. I don't have a business system. Oh, look at all these opportunities. Whoa, 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 what we got right there? That's the way you dominate. Daddy said, look, we got to eat tonight. You playing around trying to pick one out. This is work. Lights, please. That is the type of ferocity in which you must build your business. Every last one of y'all look like me. So you already know the odds are supposed to be against you. Supposed to. My kids back here own companies that pull down money the way some adults do. Kennedy, wave to everybody, baby. That's my baby girl, Kennedy. She's 8, she's about to turn 9. She was taken out of the Gwinnett County school system about a little bit over a year ago, inadvertently because they took the wrong kid. Her name is Kennedy spelled with an I. They were looking for Kennedy spelled with a Y. And there was a 2-year age difference. And when Daddy come to pick his princess up one day, she ain't there. Huh. Daddy about flipped his wig. As a result, she built a business system of her own. She has Sandy Lockets, which later segued into clothing and apparel, cosmetics, and she has an exclusive signature line of African American baby dolls. Because she said, Daddy, I want a baby doll to look like me. She's an author, 2-time author. She collaborated on this book with me, and this is one that she collaborated with 20 other kidpreneur business owners. These kids out here making money. These kids are making money. My son, that's my little king back there. Say hey, Caden.
Hey.
That's King Caden the First. He gave himself that name. Because that's my seed, I honor that, and that's what I call him. King Caden the First. He said, Dad, I want to be a third. I think they learned about King 8, whatever it was. He said, why you gotta got all those numbers? Why can't you just be the first? So he said he wanted to be the first. King Caden runs his own corporation. Caden has an educational business where he has financial flashcards. He has a flashcard series on banking, on real estate, do's and don'ts before buying real estate property. He's been featured for the last 4 or 5 weeks on Fox 5 on a TV show called Atlanta Best New Homes as a contributor. Look at him. That little dude is on a major network, seen everywhere, explaining financial literacy. See what I'm saying? Both of them are growing businesses, nationally and internationally. Caden has his first book coming out next week. It's an activity workbook. And again, I don't say this to impress you, but to impress upon you. When you have a shift in the mind frame, in your mindset, and you act like that lion who said they ain't got time to wait for the grits and the bacon to be cooked. He wanted some gazelle right now, baby. He handled it. Did you notice he ran right over her to get it? I hope that's the way you are in your business. You have to dominate. Now I don't say mean dominate to dominate people, but you got to dominate the space. Whatever space you operate in, dominate. What's your name, ma'am? April. What do you do?
I'm a jewelry consultant.
When I think of jewelry, April's face should pop up in my name. Does your face pop up in your client's name? That's just a question you have to ask people. When I think of travel, this couple should pop up in my head. And then Queen took it a step further and got her real estate license. You didn't think I knew that, did you? Because she's diversified. Because as you recognize, as a storm has come through and going through, that can affect the market. My wife and I, we travel all the time. So I know how that can go. We just got back from speaking. I was in Thailand. We were in Dubai and Italy. We just got back about 6 weeks ago from there. I have a virtual interview I have to do here in about another 45 minutes in St. Martin. You have to grow your mind. You got to stretch your mind. Y'all remember, I'm a country boy. Y'all remember having the collard greens with the red rubber band around the collard greens? And as boys, we used to grab them things and we'd stretch that thing halfway down the block. That's how much they stretch. Now, here's whoever lost. The person that lost was the one that kept holding it. That thing go there, like that. But watch this. That rubber band came back after you stretched it, but it never went back to its original dimensions. Just like your mind will never go back once it's been stretched. This chair been working my nerves all day. I like to get in. I like to come back and talk to y'all, okay? You see what I mean? It never stretched again. What's your name?
Deja.
Deja. Like Deja Vu. I thought I met you the other day. Deja Vu. She fell for it, bro. She fell for it. But check this out. Deja, would you let me come into your home with a wheelbarrow full of trash and debris? Smelly, stinky, just wet. And just dump it in your carpet and stand it smeared all around and head for the front door. What would happen as I head for the front door?
Come right back.
Right back to come back to clean it up. She'd probably be on my head like a Cheshire cat. Clean my hand. You ready to go to fight for that, wouldn't you? But so often, people allow people to dump trash in the living room of their mind. Dave, you can't never do that. You're a little girl from Mississippi. What you know about that? You know what your grades look like? You were never straight A student. You too dark. You too tall. You too whatever. So why don't we fight people like that that try to put trash in the living room of our mind? You could go to fisticuffs with somebody that want to put trash on some carpet that we can replace for $300 or $500. Ain't no price up here. There's no price tag on that. How many people got a computer? Everybody got antivirus, Norton, and all that kind of McAfee and all that kind of stuff on it? What kind of antivirus you got on this? That's your brain right there. That makes sense? So, as business leaders, I would call everybody business leaders. And the reason why I said that was, show me you come a leader. I'm not a leader. It's just me. I'm just self-employed. I don't lead nobody. Well, you are somebody. You're leading yourself, right? But more important than that, you led yourself away from the job or the job mentality. Because like I said, you may be burning the candle at both ends, but you got to be figuring out a way of how to extinguish the other end of the candle so that you can pursue what it is you want to do. I remember I was at the sheriff's department. I was in the airport, Hartsfield Airport, getting ready to go to Jamaica. I was laying, ready to go. I was already on vacation at the airport in the international terminal. And I remember I got a phone call. I was at the sheriff's department still at the time. At the time, the sheriff was my frat, so he told me, he said, Harris, if you don't quit in the next 6 months, I'm going to fire you. I said, why you don't do that, Sheriff? And he was just joking. He said, because every day you come here, you're losing money. He said, if you can close on a real estate property and make $10,000, $12,000, $15,000, but you come here for peanuts every day, you're not using your gifts or your talents. So I said, interesting. So, if any of you guys have been in the military or got